Hello class, this is Demetrius with BA 156. We're now on to chapter 4, effective business writing, something that is very, very important in the workplace. You want to make sure that what you're attempting to communicate in your writing, whether it be a memo that was sent out or email or any type of written distribution that is effectively communicating what you would like to. Our learning objectives for this chapter explain how written communication is similar to oral communication and how it is different, right? There are some similarities and there are also some differences. Explain how reading, writing, and critical thinking contribute to becoming a good writer. If you understand something, I can guarantee that you will write about it much better than if you don't. Identify 6 basic qualities that characterize good business writing. Identify and explain the rhetorical elements and cognate strategies that contribute to good writing. Describe and identify 3 styles of writing. Demonstrate the appropriate use of colloquial, casual, and formal writing in at least one document of each style. Understand the rules that govern written language. Understand that the legal implications of business writing. A lot of times, if you watch the judge shows, you'll see people now. Let me see. Do you have it on a text message, or do you have it in this form or that form? And it's becoming the norm now that you're looking back and saving text messages when it comes to legal battles. Describe some common barriers to written communication and how to overcome them. Great video on overcoming how to effectively overcome communication barriers this week. So oral versus written communication. Oral and written forms of communication are similar in the following ways. Both rely on the basic communication process, right? You have a sender, you have a receiver, you have a message, which consists of 8 essential elements. Both can be divided into verbal or nonverbal categories, right? They fall into one or the other. The 8 essential elements of communication. You have a source comes from me. You have a receiver, it goes to you. You have a message, that's what I'm attempting to communicate to you. The channel, right now it's a video. The feedback, whatever feedback you provide me. The environment, context, and interference. Hopefully there's no interference. You're not watching the game and watching the lecture at the same time. Oral and written forms of communication differ in the following ways. Written communication is a dynamic process, often asynchronous. Oral communication is synchronous. Success in writing comes from reading, right? So if you read, like I said, if you read and understand, your writing will be better. Writing, the more you write, the better you get. The more you practice, the better you get at anything. Critical thinking also as well. To write effectively in business, you need to read business-related documents. You need to see how things flow, see examples of someone who's done these things successfully. Reading outside of your own niche enhances your versatility, right? So if you're just used to writing things about sports, maybe you should read something and write something about science. It'll enhance your capabilities. General media should not be neglected. Writing, a key measure of writing effectiveness, the degree to which it fulfills the reader's expectations. So if I expect to know and understand something from the publication that you produce, then if I do, then you've been successful. If I don't, then maybe not so much. Before writing, make sure that you understand what you are being asked to do, right? You have to have a clear understanding of what you need to communicate. Consider the overall goal of the assignment. Constructive criticism and targeted practice, right? Criticism sometimes can help you. Sometimes it can hinder you because it gets kind of in your head and throws you off track. But if you look at it a different way, it can really help you. Mentors can be important in your group, in your growth as a writer. They read, they understand, they comprehend, and they say it back to you and say, hey, this is good, this is bad, this is indifferent. Being open to criticism is very important, and that goes for business writing, that goes for life, right? Targeted practice, identifying your weak areas and specifically working to improve them, right? That goes for business writing and in life as well, right? When we talk about like SWOT analysis or analyses, you have your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And what do you do with weaknesses? You try and improve upon them, but you have to know and understand and realize and be true to yourself to know that I can recognize my weaknesses and focus on working on them. Critical thinking, becoming aware of your own thinking process. Once you know your thinking process, it'll make things run a lot more smoothly. Allows us to step outside of what we read or write and ask ourselves the following: does this really make sense? Right? So you're looking at it not as yourself now, you're looking at it as someone else. Does it make sense? Are there other people, perhaps better ways to explain the ideas, right? Can somebody else explain it better? Has somebody else already explained it better? And maybe you can learn from them. Qualities of good business writing: follow the rules, it's easy to read, attracts the reader, meets the reader's expectations. I hate receiving an email and then I have to read it 4 or 5 times to understand what it means. Like, send me an email that I can understand. Don't send it to me with a lot of Confucius language that just makes me more confused and makes me have to come over and have a conversation with you. So follow the rules, easy to read, attracts the reader, meets the reader's expectation, and is clear and concise, is efficient and effective, right? Rhetorical elements and cognate strategy. So rhetoric, the art of presenting an argument. You have logos, which is logical. You have ethos, which is ethical. And you have pathos, which touches on the emotional side. So those are 3 good things to look up. Just type it in Google: logos, ethos, and pathos. Your cognate strategies are ways of promoting understanding. And promoting understanding is always good because we want the person on the other end to understand what we're doing. Logos: clarity, conscientiousness, arrangement. Ethos: credibility, expectation, reference. Pathos: tone, emphasis, and engagement. Style and written communication. There are 3 common styles: colloquial, informal, conversational style of writing; casual, everyday words and expressions in a familiar group context; and a formal writing focuses on professional expression with attention to roles, protocol, and appearance, right? There are certain rules and guidelines in formal writing, especially in formal business writing, like if you're submitting a request for a proposal or something of that nature. The type of style you use depends on your audience, of course. Is it just internal? Is it external to everyone else? Is it internal and external at the same time? Whether your communication is going to be internal communication or external communication, that does really dictate on how you write things. The purpose of your document, like what are you writing the document for? Who is it intended to go to? What's the end goal? Choose words that can be easily referenced and understood, right? Not words that I have to look up in Webster's dictionary, don't see it there, I have to look somewhere else. Right. Learn the rules governing the words which differ from one language and culture to another. Promote understanding and limit misinterpretations, and that's really important. So you want to increase understanding, and you want to limit misinterpretations. Words and your legal responsibility. Words can become an issue if they exaggerate, and certain things do exaggerate, like in sales, like salesmen, they use puffery. Like we have the greatest sandwiches in the world, but that's puffery and that's loud. But exaggerating too much is not. State false claims, defame a person or legal entity, right? Those are things that you cannot do. So words in your legal responsibility: plagiarism, use someone else's writing without giving credit to the source, right? You don't want to do that. Libel, written form of defamation or a false statement that damages a reputation, so it damages the reputation of someone else. Overcoming of barriers to effective communication, or effective written communication more specifically. You want to pay attention to the details, right? Whenever I write an email, whoever's going to, I read it again. Right? I could just shoot out the email and just send it, but I always read it again because, one, I do care how people see and judge the writings that I send over. I do care about that. But 2, I just want the things that I send out to be correct and factual, and I don't want them to come back to me. Understand the target meaning. Consider the nonverbal aspects of the message. Review, reflect, and revise the message, and that's what I was talking about. I always review, always reflect, I listen to how it sounds, how is it communicated, and then I revise the message if necessary. So that's it for chapter 5. We'll move right on to chapter 4. I'm sorry. We'll move right on to chapter 5. So that'll be posted in the module on Canvas as well. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to email me. I'm always here to assist. Otherwise, I want you all to have a good day and a great week.